Hello, Simmers. In this one, I'm going to be reacting to the FHM 12 reveal. I guess before they start the stream, I will say what my three biggest wants for this year are, and that would be 3-team trades, a batch roster editor, and a multi-select tool. The batch roster editor and the multi-select tool in particular would make things a lot more snappy in FHM in a game that is already has a lot of things buried in several menus, right? With a lot of clicking, a lot of navigating around. So I think those two things definitely are up there for me. And then as well as, like I said, the 3-team trades. And I don't mean to compare it to HLM because I know HLM is it's not nearly as in depth as FHM is, but it does have 3-team trades. So I think that would be something that I would want for FHM as well. So in waiting for the stream to start, I have we have vtuber reception going on here. vtuber centipede. Oh, here we go.
Franchise Hockey Manager 12, officially licensed by the NHL. New this season. Build your team in your image. Preseason training programs guide your players' development in the offseason, and targeted training during the season can help direct your players into the exact improvements you want to see. Draft day like never before. Feel the heat as ongoing trade offers and news breaks during the draft.
Okay, I like it.
The new World Cup is in Franchise Hockey Manager 12. Lead your country to international fame or rewrite the past. World Championships are now playable in historical, going from 1929 to current day. Improvements to AI roster management.
Good.
Trading and player generation.
We'd love to hear it.
Adjusted for more realism. New league reports. See how your team's staff matches up against the rest of the league and keep tabs on accomplishments from former players. Updated for the 2025-2026 season for every NHL club, as well as international, minor, college, and junior leagues, and much more. Welcome to Franchise Hockey Manager 12. All on the only NHL licensed PC game. Releasing October 23rd, 2025.
Releasing October 23rd, 2025. The commentator is pretty funny. All right, now that we've seen the trailer and the live stream, which I edited this video, and also now that I have a little countdown to the FHM 12 release up on the LED board above my head, I think it is about time to talk about all the main points that are brought up on the FHM 12 Steam page. So first up, we have what is possibly the biggest change for FHM 12, which is training programs. So we have preseason training programs that can be selected and directed to help your players make big improvements before the season starts. And then you also have targeted training during the season that can help direct your players into the exact improvements that you want to see. I think these are good ideas. I have high hopes for it, and this is certainly one of the main features that they're highlighting. However, as with any new system that is implemented into FHM, we'll just have to see how it affects the gameplay and also whether or not it works as intended. And next up, you have the draft day experience, the improved draft day experience, including ongoing deal making and news coverage as the draft is underway. So my number one thing when it comes to playing franchise mode is the entry draft, because I love drafting a player and then seeing him progress through his career. And at least at the moment is definitely one of my personal favorite changes to FHM 12. And then you have trade news. Trade news has been significantly enhanced, including observations about the reasons that a trade was made. So I don't have much to say about this, but I will say that anything that gives the player more details in a game that is largely detail-driven is always a good addition. And next thing on the list is that they have continued to modify and improve the AI's roster handling and player management and clean up a large number of small issues that were detracting from performance and realism. So obviously AI roster management has been an issue for FHM for some time. And given the lack of in-depth details that we've been given about this, this is one of those things where we as the players are just going to have to determine for ourselves over the first couple of weeks of the release to see just how much the AI roster management has changed. And then you have World Championships being added to historical mode. All of the historical World Championship tournaments back to 1929 have been included in historical mode. So honestly, I'm not a big historical mode player. I think the last time I did a historical series was Hartford Whalers, I think, back in FHM 8. If I recall correctly. But this seems like a good ad for historical mode players. And who knows, maybe I will give historical mode another go this year. And then you have better tactics management. Sets of tactics can now be saved and reloaded. I don't know about how other online leagues operate, but this is going to help immensely in the SSHL because of our simulation schedule and the AI occasionally forcing changes to human team tactics when a player gets injured or suspended or something like that. So this is gonna help a lot for human GMs in online leagues, which I, as an online league commissioner, am obviously very happy about. And then we have player generation that has further improvements, making superstars rarer, but adding the long shot possibility of generational level talent appearing in the draft that will eventually, if all goes well, stand with the best of the best in hockey history. So honestly, I'm not sure how to feel about this. I like the possibility of a generational talent appearing in the draft. I really like that, in fact. But I will say I'm a bit nervous about superstars being rarer, considering that how the draft tends to be, especially beyond years 5 and 6 in regards to generating, good non-goalie prospects. But I will withhold judgment on that until I've gone through a decent number of later year drafts. And we now officially let it be known that as of FHM 12, we officially have a new in-game help system. So the information you need is there when you need it. Long overdue. And the next major change here that we have is the big flow of good major junior players into college hockey has been implemented, and the college transfer portal activity has been ramped up. So this should be interesting. We'll see how that affects the development of junior players that are heading into college and just the overall gameplay experience in general of playing in a junior or collegiate league. We also have new league reports, staff ratings, and alumni rankings, so you can compare your carefully assembled staff to those around the league and discover which teams in the league have been producing players that go on to bigger and better things. So once again, any details given to the player in a detail-driven game are always welcome. And then, of course, they also have the yearly complete team and player updates for the new 2025-26 season, as well as some smaller changes. So obviously, as a content creator who makes FHM content, I'm going to be buying this game no matter what. But I'm sure Joe Average is asking, is it going to be worth the price tag? Regardless, that's not something for me to decide for you. That should be your own personal judgment. However, I don't believe there is a set price yet, unless they've already talked about that and I missed it. But based on the typical launch price of FHM and also accounting for the price of games in general these days, and of course economic reasons, we can guess that it's going to be somewhere around 45 to 55 USD. FHM 11's launch opened at $44.99 USD, plus a 10% initial discount for anyone who bought it during the launch week on Steam. And the thing about yearly release sports games is that obviously they are very prone to feeling same-ish as the previous version. So I understand that not everybody is going to buy it every year. That's an unrealistic expectation. I personally, even if I wasn't a content creator or running an online league, I think I would still buy it, largely because I like to support the developers of a game series that I have enjoyed since FHM 6. That being said, I am still a little bit disappointed about the lack of 3-team trades, batch roster editing, and multi-select tool. But I know they're a small dev team, and I appreciate all the work that they put into this series. And so I'll just hope that those are things that are planned for somewhere down the line. Anyway, that just about wraps up all the new features for FHM 12, at least the highlighted ones. So with that being said, I think we'll have things off here, but not before I thank the channel members. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.